Hello and welcome to another Talking Point video. Today's episode is going to be essentially entitled When Fans Do Better Than Video Game Developers, because that's what this is. It's the only way I can actually describe it, and this is going to be one of those videos that I need to preface some stuff because I don't want people thinking that I genuinely think fans will do a better job than developers 99% of the time or anything like that, and it definitely tends to be a very case-by-case basis. But in the case of Streets of Rage, the original games, I used to play the ever-loving crap out of them on my, at the time, best friend's Sega Mega Drive. He had a Mega Drive, we had the SNES at our house, and it was basically, we'd play Mega Drive games, obviously around his, SNES games around mine, and we got to experience the libraries via that. Like each other's libraries and figuring out what some of the better games were, some of the games that we hadn't really heard of. He got to experience Mario, Zombies Ate My Neighbors, which was available on both, but we didn't know at the time, and Zeldas and stuff like that around mine and around his. I basically played Sonic's, Streets of Rage, Altered Beast, just a load of games that I have a lot of fun, like, with, trying to say two things at once. I had a lot of fun with and have a lot of fondness for, and I still to this day have a lot of fun with them. With the exception of the fact that this isn't a Mega Drive game. This is a complete fan remake, and it's a very famous one. This is not going to be someone's first video on this, and if it is, then you have really picked the worst video for a first video about Streets of Rage remake. But basically, this is a fan-made remake of all three original games, 1, 2 and 3. And when Streets of Rage 4 came out, I actually really wanted a remake of the first three games on the Streets of Rage 4 engine. And don't get me wrong, I still kinda would like that. But having now played through this, they've got some big shoes to fill. Because you can tell dedicated fans have truly put their heart and soul into this. The fact that I can actually play Streets of Rage 2 as my favourite fucking character of all franchise, Adam Hunter, that immediately was enough to have me completely sold on this. And it's not just that. They've added so much to this fucking game, from extra modes to unlock. You can go into the shop, you can earn credits and money by basically beating the game. You can make your own content, not that I've actually looked into doing that, on top of adding a load of different options as well. The fact that I'm running this on a PC with an ultra-wide monitor, and the game actually has support for fucking ultra-wide, everything about this, it's a perfect PC port fan remake type thing. It really is. And yeah, the fact that, as I say, I can play through any of the games with any of the characters, and I can unlock new characters as well. This is absolutely magnificent. And it's not just that I get to play through the games, because each of the routes does actually do a different thing, but as you might have caught it there, there's only 3 games, but there's 4 routes. There's so much content actually added to this, including sometimes on stages you'll go forward and they'll, instead of there being the usual go forward, there'll be go forward or go up, and suddenly there'll be a new branching path that was never in any of the games. It's using sometimes remade or redone assets, but sometimes totally new stuff, and it's adding in content that really does feel like it would have been available in the original games. It isn't just ports of the 3 games, it's remakes with new stuff, and it's absolutely magnificent. And it's why I wanted to do this video, because at the end of the day, if you've never played this, it is free, available on a PC. Obviously, it's one of those most likely highly illegal games. Now, I'd like to think this is fine with a lot of people, because, I mean, my channel is proof alone that I own these 3 games over about 5 times at least for each of them. I've bought them on the Wii, the Wii U, I've bought them as part of collections for a PSP, for the Switch, for the PlayStation, for Steam. Like, I own, at the very least, Streets of Rage 1 and 2 about 6 times, and 3 I own at least 5 times, because usually 3 is the one that gets left off things. Like, at this moment in time, you can actually play 1 and 2 on the Nintendo Switch Online, and you've been able to play 1 and 2 on the Nintendo Switch Online service for a long time. 3's nowhere to be seen, so I don't understand what the holdup is, why 3 doesn't exist, but hopefully it'll eventually come, because it is a great way to, it is still a great game and a fun way to play the game or anything, but if you've got access to even a potato, kind of laptop these days will be able to run this, give it a go. you're definitely going to want to get a controller. It plays a lot better with a controller, but even then, a side-scrolling beat-em-up isn't the worst thing in the world to be able to actually play it on a mouse and keyboard, because you only really need to move in a few directions and have a couple of buttons. But one of the other cool things that you can do, and you might have actually noticed, I have an OK meter. That's from Streets of Rage 3. I can choose which character I want to play as in which game and which version. So I could set everything to play like Streets of Rage 1, or I could set everything to play like Streets of Rage 2 or 3. So I could have a Streets of Rage 1 character, like I have here, playing on Streets of Rage 2 like I was earlier. This is obviously some new content here. And playing as a Streets of Rage 3 version of a character that doesn't exist, let alone, like, the fact that they've managed to go to all of the efforts to allow anyone to tweak it to play how you want. So if your favourite is 3, but your favourite's 3 because you like the combat system the best, but you recognise that 2's the better game, but you also like character from 1, you can have the best of all worlds. This is a true love letter to Streets of Rage, and I'm mostly only going to be talking about Streets of Rage, mainly because this is like the video that caused the inspiration, but I did want to bring it up because sometimes there truly can be a case where fans will go above and beyond to fix a game and to actually put a love letter in and to give you an experience that you don't otherwise get. Mother 3. Now, I am actually a trans person, and there's a lot of reasons that game should not ever come out without heavy localization and heavy editing, and that'll piss off a lot of people. But yeah, that's kind of a really bad scene in that game. But the fact that people are able to play it in English isn't because of Nintendo, it's because a fan bothered to actually translate it. There's so many stories of fan translations, of fan remakes, of fan mods, just changing and fixing parts of the game. Bethesda might as well just start hiring fans. I mean, they don't need to do this because Bethesda have managed to get the best of both worlds. They can make a lot of money releasing games in a completely abhorrent state, completely unplayable state sometimes, and have fans come along and fix it for them. It's absolute smart business practice. Why pay for something that you don't actually need to pay for? They should be paying people for it, but genuinely, without fans, most Bethesda games would not be fucking playable. Let's be fucking real. I honestly don't know how console players do actually play Bethesda games, because quite frankly, without being able to heavily mod them, especially the VR games, when they made Fallout 4 VR and Skyrim VR, my word, they are just truly terrible VR games. But once you mod the ever-living shit out of them, which when I did that, it required about 136 gigs worth of mods for Skyrim, and I think about 110 gigs worth for Fallout 4. Yeah, lots of stuff to actually fix games that never should have even been sold, let alone be playable. And modders even allowed you to actually play the DLC for Fallout 4 in VR, because despite all of it running on the same engine, Bethesda were just like, yeah, we'll just port the base game. Why do we want to port the DLC, you know? So yeah, fans had to do that as well. And yeah, this is kind of a thank you to anyone out there who has ever done something to allow a game to actually be playable in a playable state, especially video game preservation as well, because let's be real, unless I am mistaken, there's actually no legal way to play all 3 Streets of Rage games on the PC at this moment in time, because Sega took down their arcade library that they had, well, kind of a Genesis Mega Drive arcade library from Steam, and I can't remember why. I don't know the official reasoning. It was just here one day and gone the next. So yeah, without this, I wouldn't actually be able to play it on my PC. And I could play the 3 originals, which I do all the time. However, to be honest, since I've got this, I'll never play the 3 originals again, because why the fuck would I? I can finally play all of the games as my favourite character. Like, Adam Hunter is amazing, and I will hear no bad words about him. Like, when Streets of Rage 4 came out, that is one of the things I was happiest for, because Adam has always been my favourite character, and the fact that they finally brought him back for Streets 4, I was just over-fucking-joyed, but also to be able to play as his daughter, Cherry, and that's the only thing, because of when this was made, you can't get any, like, other future characters, but my second favourite character was Skate. It's almost as if I like the Hunter family. It's weird, I know, but seriously, all of the characters I actually like the most in this fucking franchise, with the exception of Rue. I like Rue as well. Everyone that I actually like is part of the Hunter family, and maybe Rue could canonically be the Hunter's pet, I don't know. But it's loads of other little fan things as well. And I know I'm going full ADHD here. I've immediately jumped from one topic to another without even finishing my original thought. But I have to mention the fact that they even put cheesy Easter egg and like jokes into this game. I love Final Fight. A lot of people I know love Final Fight. We love Final Fight and Streets of Rage. You can kill certain Final Fight characters in this game because they actually do a character palette swap so that you can first like go up against them. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I love that they did the wink and the nod. They added in those characters and it's like allowing you to kill them. I really hoped that the team who actually made this would make the Final Fight trilogy as well, because 1 is still an exceptional game. 2 and 3 are really good, but as far as I'm aware, they were never arcade games either. So I would just really like it if someone would do that level of, I guess, fan service for Final Fight as well. But yeah, hopefully what I was in the middle of saying wasn't too important, because the train of thought has completely gone. But I think I was kind of done with saying just thank you to anyone who does actually do this. Even though most of the time it's a thankless job, and I can't even think of everyone that I'd want to thank, but there's so many games out there that I have played that have been made a much, much better experience because of someone doing something like this. And I was contemplating just doing a second video about actual modding and mods that go into games, and I think I still will, but it's going to be a totally different video now because I've kind of touched on the things that I wanted to with thanking modders as well. But Risk of Rain 2, one of my all-time favourite roguelike games. I genuinely cannot play that game without a mod, and for that, I will save that for an actual own video because it's something that I truly do want to touch on, even though I've no fine well I've got an accessibility video coming out as well. So yeah, let the chaos be done, let the ADHD brain settle down. I've been Sky Fellowship. I truly do hope you have a great rest of your day, and yeah, this is just the usual chaos video. Until next time, bye!